Are you tired of waiting endlessly for a PR invitation that never comes? What if I told you there's a smarter, faster, and more secure way to get Australian permanent residency in 2025 without fighting through the overcrowded 189 or 190 pathways? In this video, I'll show you why the 491 and 191 regional visas are now the most powerful route to PR, and how thousands of skilled migrants are using this strategy to build a future in Australia faster than ever before. Don't miss this. Welcome to the channel, and thanks for clicking on this video. If you're planning to move to Australia and you're wondering which visa gives you the best chance for permanent residency in 2025, then you're in the right place. Today, we're talking about the subclass 491 and 191 visas and why this regional pathway is now one of the strongest options to get PR. If you're tired of waiting for invitations or struggling with points, this video will give you a clear step-by-step understanding. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your questions in the comments. Now, let's get into it. We're diving deep into the Australia subclass 491 and subclass 191 visa pathways and why they are considered among the best options for obtaining permanent residency in 2025. If you're planning to migrate to Australia and wondering what options offer you the highest chance of success, this video is for you. We'll walk through what these visas are, the latest updates in 2025, what makes them attractive, how to apply, and how to avoid common mistakes. Let's begin with the subclass 491 visa. This is the Skilled Work Regional Provisional Visa. It's designed for skilled workers who are willing to live and work in regional Australia. Unlike the bigger cities like Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane, regional Australia includes a wide range of towns and smaller cities that need skilled migrants to support their local economies. Under this visa, you can stay in Australia for up to 5 years, and you are expected to live and work in a designated regional area. Ring that time. The subclass 491 visa is points-based, meaning you'll need to meet certain criteria like age, English proficiency, work experience, education qualifications, and sometimes partner skills. The minimum score required varies depending on the competition and the specific occupation or region you're applying for. But generally speaking, getting higher English test scores and having solid work experience can significantly improve your chances. Once you hold a 491 visa and fulfill the eligibility criteria for a few years, you may then be able to apply for the subclass 191 visa, which is the Permanent Residence Skilled Regional Visa. This is the goal for many migrants because it gives you full Australian permanent residency rights. You can live and work anywhere in Australia, access Medicare, social services, and eventually apply for citizenship. In 2025, the 491 to 191 pathway has become even more attractive for several reasons. First, Australia continues to prioritize regional migration. The federal government and state governments are actively encouraging people to settle in regional areas because major cities are overcrowded and regional areas need skilled workers to support their growth. This means there are more nomination opportunities for people willing to move to regional locations compared to those aiming for metropolitan areas. Second, one of the major changes in 2025 is the update to the income requirements for the 191 visa. Previously, many applicants were unsure if they would meet the strict income threshold that was required at the time of applying for permanent residency. Now, the requirement is more flexible. Instead of needing to earn a specific amount at the time of your application, you need to show that you earn taxable income for at least 3 years during your 491 visa period. This means that if your income fluctuates, weighted over the years, or if you worked part-time for a period, you still have a fair chance at qualifying as long as your overall taxable income meets the standard across the years. Third, the government has clarified what counts as regional work and regional living during your 491 visa period. You need to show that you lived and worked in an eligible regional area for at least 3 years. This doesn't mean you have to be employed in the same job or the same location the entire time, but you do have to remain in a designated regional area and comply with the visa conditions. If you leave a regional area or break those conditions, your eligibility for the 191 visa could be affected. Another point that makes the 491 visa more appealing is the relative ease of getting nominated by a state or territory compared to other visas like the subclass 189, which is often very competitive. Each state in Australia has its own list of in-demand occupations and its own requirements. So, if your skills match what a regional area needs and you're open to moving there, you might find a faster and more straightforward path to visa approval. When you get the 191 visa, you are no longer required to live in a regional area. You can move to any part of Australia and enjoy the same rights as any permanent resident. That's a big draw for many people. They're willing to live in a regional area for a few years in exchange for the long-term benefit of permanent residency and eventual citizenship. Let's take a closer look at what you need to be eligible for the 491 visa in 2025. You must first have an occupation on the relevant skilled occupation list. This varies by state and region, so it's important to check the list for the specific area where you plan to apply. You'll also need a positive skills assessment for that occupation. This means an authorized assessing body must evaluate your qualifications and work experience to confirm they match Australian standards. Next, you must pass the points test. This is a system that assigns points based on factors like age, English language ability, work experience, qualifications, and other factors. You need a minimum number of points to be considered, but higher scores give you a better chance at being invited to apply. Many applicants work to boost their score by improving their English, taking additional qualifications, or including their partner skills in their application. After you receive an invitation, you can apply for the 491 visa, and once it's granted, you must live, work, and study in a designated regional area. This is usually enforced by Visa Condition 8579, which means you cannot live in Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane. The Immigration Department monitors compliance, and you are expected to show evidence of your address and work history in regional Australia when you later apply for the 191 visa. To transition to the 191 visa, you must have held your 491 visa for at least 3 years. During that time, you must have lived and worked in a regional area and earned taxable income in Australia. The exact amount of income required can depend on your situation, but generally, you need to show that you contributed to the Australian economy and complied with your visa conditions. You will need to provide documents like your tax assessments from the Australian Taxation Office, as well as employment contracts, pay slips, and other evidence of your regional work history. Keep in mind that even though the income threshold has been made more flexible in 2025, you still need to prove that you earned income over the required period. So keeping accurate records is essential. You also need to meet Australia's health and character requirements. This includes providing police clearance certificates and undergoing a health check. These steps apply to all visa types, not just 491 and 191, but they're especially important when applying for permanent residency. Let's now talk about why the 491 to 191 pathway is better than other options available in 2025. For many people, the subclass 189 visa is very appealing because it doesn't require regional work or nomination from a state. But it's also extremely competitive, especially for popular occupations. Many applicants spend years in the pool without receiving an invitation. In contrast, the 491 visa offers more accessible opportunities because many regions are actively looking for skilled workers. State governments often have lower thresholds or faster processing times for 491 applicants because they want to attract talent to regional areas. This can make your migration journey faster and more predictable. Another reason is that regional Australia often has a lower cost of living compared to major cities. Housing is more affordable, and daily expenses can be lower for many families and individuals. This makes it easier to save money during the provisional visa period while preparing for permanent residency. There's also a better work-life balance. In many regional areas. People report lower stress levels, more community support, and access to natural environments like beaches, parks, and forests. Of course, the availability of jobs would depend on your occupation, but many sectors like healthcare, education, trades, engineering, agriculture, and IT are in demand in regional areas. But this pathway is not without its challenges. It's important to be realistic. Some regional areas have limited job opportunities, especially for niche professions. You may need to take a job outside your exact skill area just to meet the income requirement. In some cases, access to certain services, like specialized medical care or educational programs, might be more limited. Some people also find it challenging to adjust to life in a smaller community or to be far from friends and family in big cities. That's why it's important to research the specific area you plan to move to make sure it fits your needs and expectations. Another risk is that visa policies can change over time. The rules that apply in 2025 may not be the same in 2026 or 2027. Immigration policies are influenced by economic conditions, political decisions, and labor market needs, so it's important to stay updated and plan ahead. If you're planning to apply for the 491 visa and later transition to the 191 visa, here are some practical tips. First, make sure your occupation is on the current regional occupation list for the state or territory where you plan to apply. Next, get your skills assessment done as early as possible because it can take weeks or even months to process. Then focus on maximizing your point score. Take English language tests like IELTS or PT and aim for high scores. If you have a partner who also has skills and qualifications, they can help boost your application too. Consider studying or working in regional Australia before applying, as this can add valuable points and experience. Once your 491 visa is granted, start preparing immediately for the transition to 191. Keep all your documents, rent agreements, utility bills, employment contracts, and tax records up to date and organized. This will make your 191 application much smoother when the time comes. Finally, stay informed. Follow Australian immigration news, check official websites, and consider consulting a registered migration agent if you need help with your case. Every individual situation is different, and professional guidance can help you avoid costly mistakes. To sum it all up, the 491 and 191 visa pathway in 2025 is one of the best options for skilled migrants who are serious about building a life in Australia. It's not a shortcut, and it comes with responsibilities like living and working in a regional area for a few years. But the benefits are huge. Permanent residency, the freedom to live anywhere in Australia, better chances of success, and a clear path to citizenship. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really supports the work and helps more people get the information they need. Also, turn on the bell icon so you never miss important updates about Australian visas. If you have any questions about your own case or want me to make a video on a specific topic, feel free to leave a comment below. I read every single one and do my best to respond. See you in the next video and best of luck. On your journey to Australian permanent residency.